What's going on, everyone? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile Blueprint episode. So today we are going to be covering the newly released mythic for the ODEN, which is called the Divine Smite. So it turns out, after all, even after these past 2 seasons, after the AK-47 Radiance come out, it seems I have kept my promise, because I told you guys I wouldn't be buying legendaries anymore, only mythics. And throughout this entire time where all these multiple draws came out, I didn't buy a single one of them, not even the Pharaoh draw, or I guess the Phantom Pharaoh draw. You guys know me, I don't really care too much about legendary character skins, or character skins in general. I just use whatever I think looks cool, or, and I just keep them there forever. But the thing is that, those draws weren't really that important. Most of the items that come out, like the Kali sticks, the legendary Kali sticks, weren't really that appealing to me. So, I mean, keep in mind, I don't really use melee weapons at all unless they just came out and I'm trying to grind diamond for them. But yeah, here we are with the ODEN Divine Smite. So, I have quite a bit of things to say about this legendary skin. First and foremost, it is actually mainly more, I guess, animated in terms of outer animations. Like when it comes to physical, there's not really a lot, unless you just look at the center, but you really have to look closely. Yeah, animations for this gun are a little bit weaker than most mythic skins, where they have a lot more physical movement. Even if you look at the menu, it's not really that noticeable. It's not like the barrel actually rotates around or something like that. The only thing that rotates is probably that little energy thing in the middle, but that's pretty much it. Most of it's just, just energy around the weapon that's coursing. It's nothing really crazy. However, probably the most mind-blowing thing about this is the weapon inspection. It pretty much turns into this weird antique divine figurine. I don't even really know what it is. I think it's a rod or something, but I don't know. I just call it the divine dildo. To be honest with you guys, most of these inspections are kind of weird. I mean, there are some that are easier to explain, like the Morning Star. It shapeshifts into a knife and then you throw it, but with this one, it's just really hard to explain. I don't know what the hell it is. But hey, the point is it's aesthetically pleasing, so I guess it's okay. Believe it or not, this was actually one of the first mythic weapons I actually considered kind of just leaving behind, because yeah, I love the ODEN, but at the same time, I kind of got in too deep when it came to my pledge to not buy anything. Well, other than battle pass or tournament weeks or stuff like that. And it got to the point where I actually thought it was going to be hard for me to buy legendary skins. I really thought it was going to be really difficult for me to resist, but no, it was actually pretty easy. And I just skipped every draw like it was nothing. It's just oh cool, another draw, and it's just anyways, I don't know, it's kind of weird with me. I got used to just not buying them, so skipping this wouldn't have been a problem with me. But the thing is that with mythics, they're more rare. The chances of this coming out, it's years from now, who knows. There's no real set pattern when mythic reduxes come out, because we've only had one so far. So I'm assuming that maybe in season 6 we might get the Peacekeeper mythic redux. I'm not really that sure. I think what they were trying to do is to have enough mythics to the point where you could finally have reduxes. I don't know, because you don't want to have the mythics come out maybe a few months later after its initial release. So, give it time, because these things, the rarity for this is much more different than legendaries. Usually with legendaries, you could just say, oh, well, I didn't get it this time around, but I could just get it in a month or two, because it'll just appear in the For You or just come back as a redux. But like I said, mythics are a completely different story. So back on the properties of the mythic ODEN. So first and foremost, the iron sight, that's the biggest elephant in the room. It looks exactly like the Morning Star's iron sight. Right down to the color almost. Maybe it's a little bit more of a brighter yellow. But the difference with this one is actually that it does have an animation to it. So if you have your gun in hipfire position, the iron sight is not actually visible. When you do aim, it does pop up. So there's an animation with that. So I think that's pretty cool. Another feature that it seemed to copy off another mythic, which is also the AK-47 Radiance. So you guys saw whenever you took out the mag for that weapon, it'll pretty much 3D print a new one. It's pretty much the same thing here, except energy comes out, or you pull out the mag and then you put it back in. It's kind of weird. But of course, it's a lot more similar to the AK-47 Radiance. I noticed that immediately. The theme of it as well is a breath of fresh air, because for the most part, most of these mythics that do come out are more demon-like. You know, they're more of a darker theme. It's nice to see that we finally have some sort of theme that's, I guess, the opposite of that. You know, where it's like about angels or divinity or, you know, just beauty and all that stuff. With the demon song, the Morning Star, the Dark Frontier, you know, like the majority of them are either space or they're just demonic. I mean, even with the Radiance, it was kind of like spacey in some ways. The cubes on that kind of remind me of Super Mario Odyssey. So as for like the other features, it is a lot more noticeable. I did see some preview gameplays, you know, like leakers on duty. They would post gameplays of like the mythic skin, and it sounds a lot more different than it did when they were showing it. So I'm assuming they did some work with it before they released it, obviously. One thing one of the biggest complaints that I will say is the fact that the completionist camos are not really that great with this one, like almost in its entirety. You guys notice that there is Damascus on the gun. Yes, you could see it, but for the rest of the gun, it's just the same basic skin for, you know, the mythic. There's nothing changed, especially when it comes to diamond. Yeah, you'll see some studs, you know, here and there, but the thing is that just like 90% of it is just covered in solid gold instead of the diamond studs. And I could understand a little bit because obviously, you know, this gun's design is a little bit thin around the edges, but they managed to pull it off with the AK-47 Radiance. I just don't understand why they couldn't do it here. Of course, it's probably accidental. Maybe they just didn't have time to design it properly, but yeah. As for the death effects, I mean, they're alright, I guess. The one that I have right now is the one that you unlock in, I think, level 4 or level 3 or something like that. That's probably the most superior death effect. The first one is kind of like a ray of light, very, very similar to that Snoop Dogg RUS legendary skin. I'm sure you guys remember that. And I think the third one was just the enemy being, like, I guess, pushed to the ground and just light hitting it, but that is pretty much it. The final death effect is kind of subpar. I would have hoped that the medium death effect, the one that you're seeing right now, would be the final one, because that one looks like it's the best. But if I were to compare it to like the other death effects that we've seen, I mean, they're nowhere near as good. Like I said, the one that you unlock midway through leveling up to its entirety is the best one. I would say it's a little more superior than some, but the ones I've seen in the past, like let's say the Morning Star's final death effect, or even the, what do you call it, the Demon Song's death effect, are a little bit better. I don't know, maybe this one will grow on me a little bit more. I just started using this. I've only played like 2 games with it, so yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to it. So this was the first mythic that I didn't really bother to upgrade to the max, at least for right now. Maybe later on I will, but all the attachments that I do use for this gun are already, they pretty much already come with it, and plus with level 4 you get a little bit more attachments. But even then, like, all the attachments that are unlocked around level 8 are, you know, attachments that I'm probably never gonna use. So yeah, I just didn't feel like there was really much of a point. And plus with the calling card on the side, whenever you get like a multi-kill, I'm not really gonna notice it. I'd rather just have just the medals and that's it. You know, just go halfway. I spent like maybe 200 bucks on, you know, just for this skin. I had like 700 COD points left over, but I'm just gonna use that for the tournament mode. So now let's get down to the attachments real quick. It does come with initially the MIP Light Flash Guard with MIP Light Barrel Short, Combat Stock, MIP Laser 5 milliwatts, as well as the Merc Foregrip. But for the attachments I have, this was a class up that I gave a few days ago. It is Combat Stock OWC Laser Tactical, Operator Foregrip, Extended Mag A, as well as Rubberized Grip Tape. So as you guys can see, I kind of ran out of footage for the Divine Smite. I thought I was going to talk about it a lot less, but I ended up like getting sidetracked a lot. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Whether or not you guys want to pick it up, of course, it's your choice. A lot of people were kind of questioning this, obviously, because, you know, they don't really see the ODEN becoming like meta. A lot of people prefer the AK-47 a little bit more because it was a little more effective during the time, but you know, for me, I'm already in too deep when it comes to Mythic, so I mean, might as well just get it, right? But anyways, choice is yours. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you.